Welcome to Hypothetical Elephant. I'm Billy.
This is Logan.
Today we're going to do the top 5 tips and tricks to save money at Universal Studios in Orlando.
So let's get hypothetical.
All right, so we just got back from Universal. We go sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a year. We've been going since 2005 when Logan was 6 and my daughter was 4. So we've been quite a few times. We've picked up some tricks from other YouTubers. One to mention is Rick's Flicks and the Tim Tractor. We also watch some other theme park reviewers throughout the year and stuff before we get to go and all that good stuff. All right, so let's get started on the top 5 picks. All right, so the first one we're going to go with is if you're a big family, one of the things that Universal does at their parks is they give complimentary water. It's like an 8-ounce cup of water, and you can go back as many times as possible. You can also do a refill at the kiosk, the freestyle kiosk. So you can pick the water, put ice in it, and that saves quite a bit of money because pops are not cheap at Universal.
Now, if you walk around, they have like the little cards set up everywhere that you can buy them. And I actually went in around the Hulk area in the Marvel Studios part, which had waters and Gatorades and soda. And when you go to buy them, they're like $4.99 a piece. So you buy one water. I don't really remember the size of it, maybe a 16-ounce bottle, 20-ounce bottle, whatever it was, but a $4.99 for that bottle. And after we bought that, another drink, and a pretzel, we'd spent almost $20. So just doing this is going to save you a lot of money. Plus, they're basically everywhere in the park. So you can go inside a restaurant and get it. You can get them at the carts along the sides, or wherever you find somebody selling things, you can get these and save you a lot of money that way. Just for a quick drink, instead of having to waste money on that.
Yes.
Now, if you want a great drink, there's other options that we'll talk about later. But this is just to get you something quick to keep you hydrated.
And it's free. That's the big part. It's free.
free.
If you buy the bottled water, yes, you'll have a thing of water that you can keep in your bag or whatever. But a good option there is to bring a bottle in with you that's unopened and fill that up too. So, all right, our next tip is going to be toys and collectibles. One thing, I'm a big toy collector. I do collectibles, all that kind of stuff, Marvel Legends, and I love going to the parks to buy toys because there's some things you can get at the parks that you can't get anywhere else. They are marked with Universal Studios and that kind of stuff. But
you have to be careful.
You have to be careful because, like my son found out, he bought my grandson a set of raptor claws and a raptor mask, and it turned out to be about $60,
which wasn't terrible in price. That's kind of what I was looking for. But we walked around all the different stores in the park, and we looked at like all these toys that we had seen at Walmart previously in other stores, but mainly Walmart is where we saw these. And the one inside the park was $80 for a toy about this big that had a dinosaur in it
that made sounds, and it's $40 at Target. Yes. I know that because when we was left the parks, we had to go get some stuff for our vacation, and the claws and the raptor head would have cost him $30 at Walmart.
So just being careful on what your kids want, because of course they're going to be dying to have the coolest toy in the store, and you're going to want to buy it for them for the experience, but you also want to be careful on if that's something you can get at Walmart. Save that for another time. Find them something that's going to be, like he said, exclusive, that's going to actually make it sentimental and worth the money.
All right, moving on to the next one. Our third way to save money is on the meet and greets. My grandson loved going and seeing SpongeBob and all these other characters and Spider-Man, but the way to save money there is they're going to have a guy out there taking a picture. So he's going to give you this ticket. You're going to go over there and you're going to buy that picture. They do a little Photoshop thing, but it's $20 and up for that picture. So what we suggest is take your phone, get your own pictures.
They'll definitely, I mean, they'll take it from you. They'll take the pictures for you, and they're not going to tell you no. So it's just a great way, especially like me on my vlog channel, The Stafford Way. You can see that, you know, I go up with my video and video the whole thing. That way I get the whole interaction, you know, live. But then they'll also ask to take your phone and take the pictures for you. So it's going to save you time and a lot of money that way.
And if you're crafty, you can go to one of the Hobby Lobbies or a craft store and find a good frame and actually make a frame for it. So, because all it is a real clear plastic frame that you're getting anyway. So, and then they Photoshop a background into it. You can, you know, I mean, a lot of people can get GIMP and stuff and do that themselves. So, that is the third way to save money. Now, real quick, we're just going to say we do have our top 5 picks, but we have 3 other tips and tricks that we're going to give you as a honorable mention. They do cost a little money. A little more than you would normally get or pay, but sometimes it's well worth it if you have the extra money to do it. So now, number 4, when inside the parks, if you can share food, share. A little thing that we do is we go to Islands of Adventure and we eat lunch. We go to Confisco's and they have a loaded nacho or ultimate nacho. It's like $10. The 7 of us ate on 3 of them and probably could have got away with 2.
And we probably would have been able to save even more money at that time if we didn't get the drinks, because like I said, just as expensive as the drinks are at the carts, they are also just as expensive in the restaurants. And
drink water.
Exactly.
Drink water.
So you can either get the waters or you can, you know, share on the drinks as well, and that's going to save you a lot of money.
Now we do have one of the honorable mentions. We'll sort of give you a way to save money at the restaurants there too on your drinks. So you know that'll help out a little bit also. So we've done the share food. So the next one we're going to do, and this is number 5, is you can bring in snacks and drinks. The one thing about your drinks is they have to be unopened bottles of, you can bring water, you can bring soda, Gatorades, whatever you want.
You just can't bring your own alcohol.
Yeah, you can bring them in your bag, and they will check your bag when you enter the park. As long as it's unopened, you can bring it in. Yep. So that's one good thing about Universal. You can bring food and drinks into the park. We usually, go ahead.
No, what I also saw was we were in the little children's area, I guess you could say. They have a little play area with big playground and things, and we walked past the little Woody roller coaster, and there was a family sitting on the bench, and they had a cooler with them full of lunch meat and all kinds of things like that. So I mean, they brought a whole lunch with them, which is going to save you a lot of money, you know, because eating at the restaurants with the prices these days are crazy. So even another way to save is bring your own lunches, like sandwich meats and things like that.
And as with any place else, the prices at Universal have went up. You know, and annual passes have went up, prices of food have went up. So I mean, any money you can save when going to that park, you know, helps you tremendously.
So that's the top 5 there.
Right. So now we're going to do our honorable mentions. I have one that I like a lot, and we do it just about every time we go. Now, it does cost quite a bit of money. We like to stay at one of the premier hotels. And reason being we like to stay at one of the premier hotels is you get your express passes and early entry into the park. So an express pass is just, I'm going to give you an example. If you're going on, let's say, the Mummy ride, and the ride wait is 120 minutes, and it does get up into that range. Most of the time, the most we've ever waited has been 15, 20 minutes for a ride. And there's a lot of times we're getting on the ride 2 or 3 times before anybody has actually got on for one time.
What I will say about the express, which it's not really a knock for most people, but if it's your first time going to the park, you definitely still want to go through the normal entrance as plenty as you can, because you do miss out on a lot of the scenic views and the walkthroughs if you use express. But I mean, once you've rode the ride and you're just wanting to ride and ride and ride, this express will get you in there a lot quicker. You do miss out on some of those views, but it's well worth it in the end.
Yes.
Another thing on the hotels, you get a lot of good perks from the actual hotels as well. You get the express passes, and they have boats that'll take you to the park, so you're not having to take the long walks, especially if you go without one of those hotels, you have to go to the parking garage. Then you have to walk through, a huge crowd to get into the park itself. This way, you ride on a boat. It's a limited, passenger size, so you're only on there with so many people, and it takes you right into the park, right into City Walk entrance. So
now the early entry, you get in the park an hour before anybody else, which is it's right there. You can get into some rides that as soon as the park opens is going to be 120 minutes and all that stuff.
Yeah, hit those first, because they're the ones that don't have express.
Yeah, Velocicoaster and Hagrid's do not have express, and those are ones that you definitely want to get first if that park's open at the time.
Especially in like July when we went, because you get a ton of tourists that come in there, and the park's packed. And literally all day, every single one of those rides, Hagrid's, Velocicoaster, they're going to stay 90 to 150 minutes long, so it's definitely worth it.
All right, so the next honorable mention, and it does cost money, but it is one of the things that is going to help you save money at the restaurant, because it is $4.50 to $5 just for a thing of Coke, or a pop at one of the restaurants. Buy the refillable cups. Universal has the refillable cups that have the little chip in the bottom, and when you buy that for that day, you get unlimited refills. I know we bought one and probably filled it up 10 to 15 times. Yep. So you're thinking every time we fill that up, that would have been $5.
And conveniently, like we talked about, just with the free waters, is that there's stations basically everywhere you can refill these cups. So they're not just in the restaurants, they're not just in the little carts, but they also have little actual fill-up stations throughout the park as well, where they're not as crowded as some of the restaurants, because not everybody has to get food there, so you easily to fill those up and keep going.
So some things that you can do with these refillable cups in the park: fill it up, take it to the restaurant, you can drink on it.
Yep.
If you have a family that doesn't mind sharing after each other, me and my daughter and my wife, we have one and we share it.
And then me, my fiance, and our two little boys, we all shared. So it doesn't go that fast either, if because you're going to be so active that you're not really going to be drinking on it unless you're stopped. So you got plenty of time to share it, refill it, and keep going all day.
Now, one thing also is you can, it's like $18. It's like $17.99 to buy the cup. But the next day you go back, you can take that same cup with you and recharge that chip. And I think it ends up being $11 or something.
Cheaper.
It's a little cheaper for you to fill that cup up and be able to drink. If you're like me, I don't drink water. I can't stand water. I will if I have to. But that will take it, and that gives you that soda, or they have Gatorade, lemonade, tea.
You can get the ices as well.
Icy, yeah. The ices are included in that also. So they have Coke, lemonade, all that different kinds of ices. So you can do that all day throughout the park.
Yep.
If you're like us, we go from open to close.
Yep.
It's well worth it.
And especially when you buy, if you're in a big group and you buy more of those cups, it's actually discounted per each cup. Once you get more, I think it goes down to like $13 a cup if you get more than 3, I believe. I'm not sure, but we'll pull up some of that information and post that on here so you can see that. But definitely worth it. It's going to save you a lot of money in the end, because, like I said, you buy one drink, $4.99, that adds up, because you're going to be hot. You're in Florida, so you're going to be hot. You're going to want something to stay hydrated, and this just saves a lot of money that way.
Okay, the last honorable mention is to get annual passes.
Probably most expensive, but probably most worth it.
Well, the most expensive is going to be the hotel. The hotel's not cheap.
Yeah.
But the annual passes, if you go more than one time a year, I say usually about 3 times, it makes it well worth it. You can get, if you go for I think a 4-day ticket's probably $300 and something. You can get annual passes anywhere from $370 or something like that. I haven't really got the prices on me. I should have looked it up a little better. But you can get annual passes like seasonal up to the Premier. They go from anywhere from $300 and something to $600 and something. You get a better discount if you're in Florida. But if you buy those annual passes, you can go as many times as you want. If you live close, you can go every day.
Every day, yeah.
Plus, it gives you, some of the passes give you, the Premier and the Preferred give you a discount on food, drinks, apparel. The only thing it really doesn't do is if you need any medicine or books or anything?
We found out. Yeah, we found out. We went into the Seuss Landing section and we went to buy our little boy some books, but where they're collectibles and they are tax free, so you don't really need the discount because you're already saving some money from taxes anyways. But it basically gets everything else.
Yeah, that helps a lot. But you know, the only thing that there's one other thing that I'm gonna add an extra honorable mention.
This is a good little tip and trick. It's gonna help you out, and we'll throw in one of these in most of our videos that don't really go exactly with saving the money, but it's gonna really help you out.
But it does save money. Go during the off season, and yes, a lot of people say, well, now there's not an off season. There still is an off season.
Yeah.
If you go in the middle of summer, if you decide to do the hotel is anywhere between $400 to $700 a night, maybe more. But if you go during off-peak times, you can get that hotel a lot of times at a discount, like $200-300 a night compared to $700 a night. And we did that. I'm going to tell you, it was one of those things that, you know, we did a one night at Universal this past week, and we paid $685 for one night. Now that was for 5 of us staying
in
July, but that was for one night. So, you know, I did do a search today. Now with my annual pass holder rate, I think I ended up getting in September $255, you know, for a room. So that's that the pass holder. Now I think without the pass holder it was $379 a night.
But we were originally going to have to pay $860, I believe,
yes,
without his annual pass holder. So it did give us a discount even in July. Yeah. So definitely, all of this together really works well to save you a lot of money.
And it will save a lot of money. I mean, we went from spending, when we first started going, we went from spending $5,000 to $8,000 to, we can pretty much go. I mean, we went 3 days and probably spent, you know, minus, you know, a lot of the stuff we don't have to have. We probably spent about $2,000. I mean, easily. That's food. That's, you know, drinks. That's hotel room. That parking. You know, all that stuff. So, I mean, it's not that bad. You know, if you use some of these tips and tricks.
So that's our top 5 tips and tricks for saving money at Universal, with a few honorable mentions as we put in there and that bonus trick. But other than that, that's all we have to say for this video. Stay tuned because we have a lot more coming up. You got to say.
I mean, like I said, I mean, if you want to save money, this is the way to save money. There are some other ways to save. We just wanted to do a few right now because we're just getting this channel back started. So stick with us, and we're going to give you some other tips and tricks, and we're going to give you some tips and tricks on rides, and, you know, top 5, you know, our top 5 picks for each park and that kind of good stuff.
All right, so we appreciate you watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you can keep up with all these Universal videos and the future videos that we make. See you in the next one. Peace.